Arizona State Sun Devils Greg Powers, and we're going to do a little bracket boss here competition. So we're going to let the coach tell us who he thinks is going to roll through the NCAA tournament. So, Coach, as we look, the number 1 seed Denver taking Michigan Tech on. What's your feelings in that one?
A ton of respect for Mel and what Michigan Tech has done in his 6 years there. I think this is their third tournament in 6 years, which is incredible. So he's done a great job. We played Denver. We know how good they are. We know how deep and talented they are. So I'm going to go with Denver.
Okay, we go to the next pairing against Penn State and Union. I know you got some feelings there too, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with our fellow newbies. Penn State, again, another team that we played and saw how good they were up close and personal. Certainly what Rick and his staff have done at Union and the great year they've had. They have some really good hockey players, so that could go either way. But with the way that Peyton Jones is playing in net for Penn State, I'm gonna ride them and think they're gonna get to that next round.
Comes down to goaltending sometimes at this point, doesn't it?
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about the lower half of the bracket with UMass Lowell and Cornell. Tell me a little bit about those two.
Well, a tough matchup, and I wouldn't want to play either one of those teams if I were in the tournament because they're just so hard to play against. I think what Norm has at Lowell and the leadership and veteran presence that they have, they're going to be a tough team to deny. I'm going to go with Lowell.
And look at the bottom half of that bracket. We've got Notre Dame and Minnesota, which, again, you've had the experience of opening with Notre Dame. You know what they're like. Didn't play Minnesota, but you also know the history there. So who do you got going in that one?
Two really talented teams. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Could go either way. I'm going to go with Minnesota.
Okay. Let's jump over to the other side. We've got the number 2 seeded Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs against Ohio State. Played Ohio State. Played them tough. Didn't play UMD, but give us a rundown of those two.
Yeah, Ohio State's good. They can beat anybody. They have a ton of talent. Again, some upperclassmen that can really put the puck in the net. Duluth is Duluth. They're a really good team. With Josh Healy out, arguably their top defenseman to suspension, I'm going to go with Duluth.
Next part of that bracket is North Dakota and Boston University playing in Fargo, North Dakota. So out of that one, what do you know?
Again, the fact that those two teams have to play each other in the first round just doesn't seem fair, but it really doesn't. But I'm gonna go with God, that's tough. I'll go with North Dakota.
All right. The bottom half of that bracket, we've got Western Michigan and we've got Air Force. Again, you've seen them both. Which one there?
Yeah, that's another game. It could go either way. They've played each other. Air Force, I think, tied them and lost a close one. I'm going to go with Western Michigan, though.
Looking at the bottom half of that bracket, we've got Providence and Harvard. And again, those are teams that you're somewhat familiar with, but tell me who you think is going to pull out of that one.
Well, we played a lot of good teams this year, and I've said when people ask who they thought the best team we played was, and I've told everybody it's Harvard. I think Harvard is a really special team, well coached, big, strong, really good goaltending, and just deep at every position. They don't make mistakes, so I'm going to go with Harvard. Okay,
so now we're into the next round. Let's go with, you've got Denver and Penn State. Who do you like coming out of that one?
I'm going to go with Denver. Just too deep, too talented. I could see Penn State knocking them off, but I'm going to go with Denver.
Okay, and then the bottom half of that bracket, we've got Minnesota and UMass Lowell. Is that who you pick?
Yep, I think it's a great matchup, and again, I just think that that veteran leadership and culture at UMass Lowell is gonna get them over the top, and they'll advance to the Frozen Four.
Nice. On the other side, we've got UMD and then North Dakota. I think you picked, correct?
I have UMD and North Dakota. I'm going to go with Duluth.
Okay. And the bottom half of that bracket, you got Western Michigan and Harvard.
I'm going to go with Harvard.
Okay. And then the championship game, who do you got?
I have Harvard against Lowell in the national championship, and I'm going to go with Harvard as the national champs.
Awesome. You heard it from the coach. That's the way it's going to break down the NCAA tournament for 2017. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.